Hello everyone, Mr Ruski here, back with some more StarCraft 2 action. Today we have a matchup between, it's actually a TvT, surprisingly, between our red Terran, who's gotta be gold, and on top right it's gotta be our blue Terran, his name is DK. Say her. They're already exchanging their little love notes, so we'll see how the game goes. If you notice, my voice probably sounds a bit grumpy because it is nearly 5 o'clock in the morning and haven't slept yet because me and my mates just waiting here to watch the Olympic Games because we're such good sports. Here we go. They're both saying, who are we? Are you guys pro? Gold's actually wondering if DK's pro. And DK saying, no, not really. So, maybe Gold was hoping there's... Huh. Don't think I'm actually gonna pay attention to what they write, and so if you guys want, just go ahead. So at the moment, nothing to I don't know, since both of these players are T. It's actually a bad play, and Gold is actually putting a bad placement for his supply depot because it's right in the middle of where some of his workers getting his minerals. So kind of interesting, and obviously DK is already getting his first Rex up. Strangely enough, no walling, and this is actually one of those maps where you do want the walling, but since this is TvT, it probably doesn't really matter that much. And actually, it's gonna be expansion from our gold player, and so yeah, hopefully we'll see what happens here. But DK is putting up his refinery as well, and I'm sure some of you have probably seen some of DK's games in previous time, and he likes to play as bio-heavy, so putting up a refinery is no surprise because obviously he's going to put his tech lab and go for either Marauder Slow or Stimpack. Usually Stimpack is the first choice. And putting the barracks all the way in the corner for gold, which is kind of interesting because it's a long way for him. Well, it's shorter for him to go defend his natural, but it's a long way to defend his main base, so it's kind of interesting. I haven't actually seen players do that, and he actually hasn't even expanded it either. Well, those two are already best friends. I'm sure they're gonna exchange emails and probably go on a lovely date. Just kidding around. So here we go, first order command center for DK, and here we go, the first mule. Look at him there, champion, just with his giant razor blades, just cutting through the mineral fields like still gold. And none of the players actually know where each other are. Actually, here we go, DK is actually going. He's taking his first SCV to check out what he's doing. And here we go, Gold's actually asking what race is he in. Here you go, Terran. You're like, hey, surprise, I'm Terran too. And Gold's actually playing an engineering bay back here, and this is actually, I think, an interesting gameplay, because obviously we have to tell if DK is going to be trying to harass or expand somewhere that Gold will not be able to look. So, kind of interesting, but DK is actually expanding of his own, putting up his command center here. And, yeah, interesting gameplay. I haven't seen this kind of yet before. 3 civvies on 1, and that's just not fair. Here we go, they're all bros here, but here we go, oh, they're punching them with the drills, and it's like, no, oh, I need to get out of here, I need to go back home, because my friends are waiting for me there, hopefully they're gonna help me out. And to be honest, pulling up 3 SCVs offline is actually not a good idea, because obviously there's 3 times less, well, all the times less when you're actually gaining for money. Here we go, that SCV is coming up here, what's it gonna do? Just get in the base and going up, going back. And here we go, and first engineering bay coming up for DK, and second refinery, and a couple of racks. And here we go, got a steam pack ready on its way, and maybe gotta be going for those concussion shells, or maybe something else. So both players just macking up, and surprisingly, the engineering bay for gold is not doing anything. If you have an engineering a facility or building that can produce something, might as well use it. But, oh well, there's different players run there. And here we go, going for those concussion shells, and they're actually concussion shells actually pretty quickly. As you can see, they started later than it's 20 out of 60, and this is only out of 70. And actually go for a starport for gold. Maybe going for Destiny Clive first. Would be interesting, but we have... No, there's a factory here. It's kind of weird that all these buildings is spread out. And actually I gotta be upgrading the plant to a fortress, so it doesn't have... He long mine distances to his command center, which is kind of not bad, because technically it's actually protecting his main base, and obviously we know how much damage the orbital command center does. So, interesting. But nothing too advanced. We actually have a medic evac coming up on the field, but so far I only got Marines and gets infantry weapons level 1 for DK, and also have siege tanks, so going up for those siege tanks. And what Terran players actually do right now when doing bioheavy, they actually put a couple of siege tanks, and obviously siege tanks are really good because they're good for taking out large infantry units if they're in siege mode, and they give you that edge over your opponent if they're only going for small tank. So, kind of interesting. A sensor town. Now, this is something that most players don't actually do, especially Terrans. They never use sensor tower and don't know how important the building is, because they obviously reveal a lot more area around your entire base. So, we'll see what happens. And yeah, so this is where the starboard was hiding. Just spotted it. Very interesting gameplay. However, there is a small force here, a couple of Marines, Marauders just chilling out. And here we go, there's the sense down. You can see that it reveals pretty much quite a lot. So obviously, Gold will be able to know when DK is going to push his forces through his main base, or if there's going to be any drops. But to be honest, I actually don't think I've seen DK actually drop in any forces so far in any of the games. And I've casted and seen his gameplays, and I've never seen him harass with drops. However, Gold is sitting on a lot of minerals here, but not a lot of gas, while DK is actually quite opposite, even though he's losing some of it. But this this is kind of interesting, because Gold, I haven't seen the gameplay by Gold. Well, it's the first time I've seen a gameplay like this by anyone. However, here we go, we have 1-2 nearly already started for DK. I keep trying to say Terran player, but however, there are 2 Terran players. And personally, I don't know if Terran versus Terran is a good matchup, because you always can expect what each one of them's gonna do. They're gonna be mech heavy or bio heavy, but that's my personal opinion, so you guys can just drop in your lines and see what you can say. Here we go. First again, we've got a couple of Hellions here doing some damage, steaming up. And here we go, the first blast, shed, a couple of Marines, and a couple of Medivacs, and a Viking. Yeah, that was kind of interesting. There he is, there's a Viking. Taking up, no, why is the Vikings there? Dude, like, for some reason, Gold's not building anything. Did he step out or something? No, he's actually doing high-sec tracking for his buildings. That's interesting. But he's not... If DK attacks like that, even with small force, he'll just devour Gold. Just look at it. 75 supplied to 29. This is just ridiculous. I don't know if Gold played Terran before, but this is not the kind of game... Like, his gameplay is interesting, but it's not what you expect in fusion cores. Even though he's got no battle cruisers in the field, he's got a Banshee coming up, so I'm not sure what's happening here, but oh well, we'll see how it goes. But obviously, DK's training up more and more MBS units. Got a lot of Marines and Marauders. Love those. Got another siege tank. I think I've said siege tank before. Yeah, we go. A good placement by those siege tanks, because they can see pretty much everything throughout the entire high ground. Here we go. Finally, Gold is doing some of his research in zone, putting up his Terran infantry armor level 1. And I'm not sure what this bench is gonna do. He doesn't really have cloak abilities for it, so I'm not sure. His gameplay is just, well, it'd be rude to say that it's wacko, even though I just said it, but it's just kind of interesting. Here we go. We also get Terran vehicle weapons level 1 coming up, and this army is looking pretty intense. However, there are no medivacs coming up for for DK. We do have combat shield and more barracks and more tech labs. So that's a lot of here. No, we actually do. No, we have tech labs coming up for starports. So no double medevacs unless you're gonna be putting up for Vikings to deal with those air units. So I don't know. He does have some forces here. There's Marines from earlier. However, they're not gonna be enough to defend against this army. I mean, sure, he's got a Banshee, then he's got another one coming up to take out those siege tanks. However, if there's Marines target fire, they're Banshees, and siege tanks that just pretty much wipe everything out along with those Marauders. And are those Marines actually following those SCVs, like guiding them? I'm pretty sure that's what 7. So both players just taking up. Nothing too out of ordinary here. Got a lonely siege tank here, and more Halens coming up. More forces coming from DK. Now the player's actually expanded again. Oh, apart from actually, my mistake. I actually did miss DK's third expansion, so it shows how tired I really am at 5 o'clock in the morning. Maybe I should drink some coffee. Got an army coming up for gold, so I might be doing some research of his own for his vehicles, even though he doesn't actually have the many of them. However, finally doing for the medevacs and actually building another factory and the command center, so going for another expansion here. And where is it? Actually, yeah, here we go. There's 2 double refineries. And we've got a Raven coming up for gold, and unless that's gonna be used for missiles or just for turrets, I'm not sure what Ravens can do here. And we do have 3-3 coming up for infantry weapons for DK. So I was looking at this, 150 to 67. This is just nuts. And I don't know if DK knew what he was not even up against. He just rolled in and just destroy everything that Gold has. I mean, look at this lineup. He's actually got a Banshee of his own coming out and does have cloaking fields, but so he's actually playing a lot smarter since Gold's only sitting on one orbital command center, so he's only going to have a limited scan to his own. Actually, vehicle armor, and that's actually you don't barely see a lot of vehicle armor come for Terran play. I'm not sure why, but it's not been in use for quite a long time. But look at this, Dick is sitting on a lot of minerals. He's using them, but what is Gold doing? He's not building, all he's mining. Here you go, DK is putting up his scan, thinking what's going on here. They have no units, so probably just attack. Yet this army is just scary for any player right now. He has everything against any army. You got the Marines for anti-infantry and anti-air. You got Marauders and a couple of tanks here. Yeah, 2 tanks for anything heavy. So here we go. Here goes a fun big bank hit by DK, just smashing everything that Gold has. And yes, there is that splendid fortress doing a lot of damage to this fortress. However, they go steam up, just wiping out. Was that the actual? Yeah, that was command center here. Command center is gone. There's nothing that Gold can do. This is probably one of the quickest games I've actually seen. But no, we actually have another engagement here from Gold. So kind of actually pretty smart. A couple to actually build to do some base exchange. However, there's still DK's main and natural. So go transfer some Banshees over the reeds of Ravens, so that's what those Vikings for. Smart but interesting gameplay here. DK needs to pull in his forces back because he knows he might not be able to, he definitely knows he won't be able to do much with any of his forces back here. But he does quickly reinforce his force. So he got his 2 siege tanks here, so none of this ground infantry will be much of a hassle. So here we go, look how quickly he just destroys everything. Then there's now he's almost down, and I'm not sure what this is all about, but those Banshees aren't doing some damage since DK has no anti-air against this on his base. And I'm not sure what his main army is doing. He's just chilling here, even though he knows that his army's been attacked. This is a very peculiar game. So Dick probably doesn't even care about any of that, because you know he's gonna win regardless. But still, you don't lose, you don't take unnecessary losses. And those benches are just smack everything. There's a couple of stations too much. You have your 4 Marines. If you steam them up, you might be able to take 1 or 2 benches down. Put up Vikings, and as soon as Vikings come up, they'll just destroy those benches. And the one Raven won't do anything. And here we go, Dicky just getting in and destroying the last couple of base buildings of gold. This game has just been, it hasn't been upside down, but it's just been in one favor for the whole time. I don't know what gold was doing here for all of it. Here you go, that's the factory's trying to fly away, but he has nowhere to fly to. No, I actually did. It's out of range. This is way too funny. Where there's Vikings that were before? Here we go. There's Marines. That missile tool does do some damage. There's nothing else that Dicky can do about it yet. Even though he's using unit after unit, but doesn't really care. What is the siege tank doing? I'm not sure. Look, SCV just going to their death. How many kills? Like, this is only 1. This one has 11 kills. This one has 16 kills. And yeah, there you go. GG. So, a really fast-paced game and very interesting one nonetheless. So, there you go. This is why I sometimes don't like doing TvTs. But that's a personal opinion. So hopefully you've taken something from there, and I shall see you next time.